Good morning. It's day 6 of Red Bull X-Alps. We've got athletes spread over a few hundred kilometers between Switzerland, Italy, France, and this is where it gets interesting because athletes are feeling the pain now. They're tired, but they're pushing hard. Certainly for the ones at the front who can smell the finish line, they are really pushing hard, especially on a day like today when the weather is good for flying. Up front is Lars Meerstetter. They came through the Mont Blanc turn point, went to Les Deux-Alpes deep into France, and they're now in the Aosta Valley. He's in front, followed by Aaron Duragatti and Kriegelmaurer, who has not given up yet, but it's really exciting. They're pushing ahead to Oscana Locarno and Bellinzona, and then we'll expect them to get to St. Moritz later today. Who knows, maybe the finish line is possible sometime over the weekend, Saturday, maybe a bit early, Sunday, definitely a possibility. Now, I always say in this race that you could call any team any day and you'd hear an amazing story. And that's certainly true of Seline Lawrence, who yesterday had a little bit of an epic landing close to a riverbed. Now, we've got the full story on that. She's fine, but she was, for a while, she was separated from her team and her beloved chocolate bread. But we're going to have the story on that a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. Talking about safety, we also caught up with our safety director, Jurgen Vitraic, who's been driving around the Alps in his Amarok to be as close to the action as possible. And this is what he had to say.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is the speed of this race, because there are so many things happening all at the time. During the race, I'm always observing athletes, what they are doing, how they are behaving in the mountains when they hike up or when they climb up the mountains. And normally during the race, every athlete is completely self-responsible and takes every decision on his own. So in this situation on Doblinger Knoten, it was very tricky, though it was on the other hand very clear. I was very clear about the first couple of athletes who had, this was my guessing, 30 minutes of time, and this was enough. And so I said, that's okay, we don't have to close the Via Ferrata. And so they went through, they did it. It was very close, but it was the right decision. And then the other guys came in, and for them there was not enough time anymore. And so I had to say stop at this moment, and had to say that we have to wait here, which makes, yeah, obviously a sort of an impact on the race, and this is why it is so tricky. Yeah, athletes are pushing their limits, and we also, of course, we always want to push our limits. But what we try to make sure is that they push their limits in terms of sport and not in terms of risk. We are watching them, and when we get videos, when we get when somebody is telling us that athletes are acting in a very dangerous, in a very risky way, then the race committee can give them feedback, like a yellow card or like a penalty. It's beginning right now. We are on day 5 when you count from Sunday on, and that means 4 nights of little sleep. Little sleep after demanding days in the air and on the ground, and that also means that athletes are beginning to feel tired and exhausted now. And so in the next couple of days, supporters and also our medical team and the athletes themselves will have to watch carefully the physical and mental state of the athletes, so that they are always in a condition that they can take the right decisions. Yeah, something happened. What always can happen. One athlete, Seline Lawrence, landed near a glacier, actually on a spot where the map still shows a glacier, but there isn't a glacier anymore. But she was sort of blocked between the ice of the rest of the glacier and the big river coming out of the glacier, and in her back there was a rock cliff, so she couldn't get out of this place. And yeah, in the end, the team of Germany 2 managed it themselves. They were talking to a hut which was nearby, and on the hut there was a mountain guide, and he then could give her support to get out of this situation. But this was really sort of a dangerous situation in the mountains. I have to observe such a situation, and when I see that the team isn't able to manage it, the team isn't able to guide the athlete out of this situation in a safe way, then I have to say stop, and we have to send them a rescue organization. This could happen, for example, on a big glacier. Sometimes an athlete tries to overfly a big mountain area, and then it's maybe not possible, and he has to land then on the glacier, and then he is there on his own. And so I have to discuss then with the team, okay, do you have are you prepared for this situation? Do you have a guide you can go up to the athlete, who can reach him, who can guide him out from this situation or not? And if not, then we have to start a rescue operation. We always have to look at the situation very critical, and I think we all have to learn our lessons after every race.
Now, in other race news, we've just learned that Gabe Janssen, the Brazilian athlete, has sadly withdrawn. He had a launch that went wrong on the Col de Petit Saint-Bernard, and he's twisted an ankle, and he's sadly pulled out. And I'm going to read a statement that his supporter Ben has just sent me literally moments ago, and it's really emotional, so I'm going to read it in full. While the hike and fly world has watched a Brazilian rookie storm around this race course, surprising even himself with his performance, we've been lucky to directly share this adventure with him. He's so much more than an athlete, so much more than a pilot. Everywhere we go, he brings smiles to the people around him, takes the time to speak to the local people, greets everyone with such joy amongst the toughest adventure of his life. The sacrifices he's made over the last 2 years to get here, his incredible dedication and drive to this sport just to make it even more special. He is such a joy to be around. A bit of bad luck and his journey has ended. Hugely emotional, but a small hurdle will not break him. I think that they even said he was considering hopping on one leg to Zell-am-Zee. Talking of injured ankles, earlier John de Biolay stayed the night, and I'm happy to report that he says he's feeling better, stronger every day, and so his ankle injury seems to be managed at the moment. Lastly, we have the second race elimination today, and it's Canada. It's James Elliott who is out. Yubai, in a heroic effort this morning, a last ditch, flew over his head at 7:30 to ensure that he wasn't in last place. So congratulations to him, commiserations to James, but nonetheless, what an amazing performance. Today, it's going to be another epic day, fast. I'm going to be heading off the mountain now to try and catch up with the action. I've got a lot of distance to cover to catch up with those lead group. Enjoy, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.